Side lying leg lift with weight. So you'll notice that the weight that I have, it's a pound. I'm going to start with that weight in the middle of my shin. So rather than start at the ankle, if you have a weight that is able to be secured at different widths, then starting a little higher, even above your knee, is always an option because of levers. The further that the weight is going to be from the muscle doing the work, which is up at the hip, the heavier the weight's going to feel. So you can, if you only have a 2-pound weight, you can make that 2-pound weight feel like a pound by it being closer to your knee. And then as you get stronger, gradually move it down to your ankle. So I'll just start with it here and demonstrate the exercise from this position. All right, still using our little support. Now, because we all have different body dimensions, if you have wide hips and a small waist, you're going to want to ensure that you have enough support at your waist to fill in that space. So, just use the support that you need, whether you have a long waist or a short waist, whether it's high, to provide that support for your lumbar spine. When we're on our side, we have support for our thoracic spine, and that's created by our ribs. But then we often, will notice that our pelvis is in contact, but we have a big hole right where the lumbar spine is. That's what you're trying to fill in, that space there. Then you want to have some support for your head so that your head is in neutral position with your body. It's nice to have the knees bent. It feels really supportive. And then straightening the top leg. Now, there's lots of different variations to the side lying leg lift. So when I initiate the side lying leg lift with clients, especially those of you that I don't have an opportunity of meeting, then I will start it with the leg in a neutral position. You want to have an imaginary line behind you so that you can envision the back of your head, the mid-back, your sacrum, and your heel forming a straight line. And your heel is going to be lifting ever so slightly behind that line as you lift. Your toes stay pointing straight ahead and then back down. So it's a breath and blow. Inhale, coming down. Exhale, up. You could certainly be using your hand as your support if you prefer, or in combination with a little towel or pillow. It's really up to you. This hand here can be kind of a guiding sense for you to not roll back. One of the key things that people like to do with this exercise is they tend to roll back, and now that allows their legs still lifting sideways, and it kind of looks the same, but you're totally using different muscles. So by engaging your pelvis to be pointing forward slightly, if I bring my hand onto the front of my pelvis here, this bone, you want to imagine that it's hitting, if it had a little light on it, that light is just shining, maybe 5-6 feet in front of your mat. So that's where keeping your hand forward, either on your knuckles or flat palm, or your hand on your pelvis to ensure that when you lift your leg, that you don't have the tendency to roll back. It's not that you're trying to cheat, but the body is really smart, and it goes, well, these muscles back here are really weak, and so they don't have the strength to do that lift, so they're going to let you roll back and say, well, why don't you use these guys? They're way stronger. So you need to really make an effort. Now, if that's too difficult for you, then what I'm going to suggest you do is start with a pillow between your legs. And by having a pillow between your legs, that's going to allow the muscle to not start from a low level where it has to work hard against gravity. It can start in a neutral position and then lift from there. So when you have something here, you want to make sure also, if your muscles are particularly weak, that you might find if you're still cheating that you want to just go back to not using a weight until you get your form down really well. Sometimes you'll be at an active level for most of your exercises, but our deep hip muscles can tend to be weaker than other muscles. So far better that you move with good quality than learning to cheat, or forcing your body to cheat, because it wants to do what you're asking it to do, just it's going to do it with the best way it knows how. So if that cueing doesn't quite work, but the support of the pillow helps, another cue that might be really helpful for you is to either line your body up against the wall, where you're just maybe an inch from the wall, from your hips, so that if you start to roll back, you'll feel the wall. Or if it's not the wall, it could be, if you have a long sofa, you could just be, an inch from that long sofa. So everything's staying away from that space, except you're going to feel your legs slide up the wall or slide up the sofa side. And yet everything else is staying in that nice neutral position. Remembering to incorporate your breath. So I'll just do one more breath in, and then exhale. Inhaling back down. So I hope that gives you enough guidance to provide you with good form with your active level side lying leg lift with weight.